So we fully admit that Minnesota Vikings quarterback Kirk JEROME Ezekiel Cousins is a goober. Like, he's weird. He's got the dad jokes. He's got all that stuff, but he's our goober, right? And the national media jabroni haircuts, they love not even laughing with Kirk Cousins, but they love laughing at Kirk Cousins. And it does get annoying that the Tin Pot Pete's Ranch dictator doesn't get the time of day, even though he is the Kirk locker. But this season, it just seemed a little bit different, where Kirk with Kevin O'Connell, as well as the emergence of Justin Jefferson as the wide receiver one in the league. I think that Kirk Cousins had some great moments this season as the Vikings went 13-4, won the division, his first division crown as a Viking, and overall did good things. Led the largest comeback in NFL history, 8 fourth quarter come from behind wins this season, and overall I think Kirk Cousins played his best football this season. But of course, he's not going to get the love and respect, right? So Marc Sessler, the Sizzler, over at NFL.com. Now, you would think that we would just get like a modicum of respect, where I wasn't expecting much. Like, Kirk top 12, even though you can make a firm case that he was, top 7, top 8 this season. And remember, this ranking is 2022 only, and we're not looking at the future because the future is unknowable, but we're quantifying what happened in this past season. And he did up a ranking of all 68 starting quarterbacks, almost nice, for the 2022 season. And I want to know who's 68. I assume it's Anthony Brown, right? Going down, and early around. Yeah, Anthony Brown. Nailed it. So Anthony Brown, Sam Ellinger, who's 6'7". Kyle Allen, Trace McSorley, Davis Webb, Driscoll, blah, 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 blah. All right, so starting up at the top, it's who you imagine. Mahomes at 1, Jalen Hurts 2, respect, 3, Jumpin' Joe Burrow, 4, Josh Allen. All right, so they go into his partially torn UCL, even though he looked perfectly fine. Remember, week 10, that was when the whole drama started. It was like, is Josh Allen going to play, or is it going to be Case Keenum? And then Josh Allen looks perfectly fine. Ridiculous. Herbert 5. Yeah, I could see it, especially since Herbert dealt with a number of injuries on the offensive line as well as with his weapons. But I think overall he emerged this season, first playoff trip. They built up a nice lead over the Jaguars, and then maybe not so much. Trevor Lawrence, yes. I mean, him and Doug Peterson, nice combination. Won a playoff game, which was huge. So I understand that ranking, sure. 7, Tua. So here's where it gets dicey because, spoilers on the Chiron, but Kirk Cousins ranked number 17. Yeah, we'll get into that. But 6 of the quarterbacks ranked above Kirk Cousins did not play in the playoffs, so that includes Tua. And Tua only played 13 games. And yeah, he looked dynamic and amazing in those 13 games, but he missed too much time. But apparently he is still above Kirk Cousins. Jared Goff didn't go to the playoffs, although I think that Jared Goff as well as Geno Smith certainly were in the conversation for most improved player this season. I think Jared Goff and Ben Johnson did some great things with that offense. Lions defense, maybe not so much. Geno did amazing things, and rightfully so. Comeback player of the year, really respected. People wrote him off. He didn't write back. Completed almost 70% of his passes and looked really damn good. Looked way better than Russell Wilson, who he replaced in Seattle. So, but would I put his season above Kirk's? I don't know, because Kirk is getting pile driven on because of what happened on 4th and 8. By the way, Kirk Cousins played a phenomenal game in the playoffs against the Giants, and you can't tell me otherwise. But I mean, Geno did not look good against the Niners, and the Seahawks absolutely got punted, but no one brings that up. I don't know. Maybe it's just expectations coming in the season, whatever. Tom Brady was fine. Tom Brady was not Tom Brady, so I'm not putting him above Kirk Cousins this year. Dak Prescott is the one that bothers me the most. So he led the league in interceptions, and he only played 14 games. Right. Dak Prescott is exactly what the media wants you to believe Kirk Cousins is. Overpaid, doesn't get it done in big-time spots, and makes huge mistakes. Right. Lamar Jackson played 12 games this year. I mean, Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson, but he played 12 games. 13, Justin Fields. The Bears have the number 1 overall pick, so they didn't win games. And yeah, Justin Fields, I understand, lit it up with his legs, is so with his arm, but he gets all of these excuses. The offensive line is bad. He has no weapons. He has this or that, the other thing. I mean, how come Kirk Cousins doesn't get those excuses? Kirk Cousins has a bad defense. Kirk Cousins has a bad interior offensive line. That never gets brought up. Aaron Rodgers, please. Absolute garbaggio. You paid $50 million, and this is what you get. Come on, just ridiculous. The way that they started off, put them behind the 8 ball, made a charge late in the season, didn't make the playoffs, but he's still 14. Okay, sure. 15, Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy played like 6 games. And yeah, Brock Purdy played solid, but were the Niners winning games because of Brock Purdy or because they had the #1 overall defense? And then they had McCaffrey and Debo and that great offensive line and Kittle and all the weapons. And Kyle Shanahan. Which one was it, right? 16, Kyler Murray. So this one bugs me the most. So Kyler wasn't even good the 11 games that he played in before he tore his ACL. He was divisive, and it was one of the reasons why Cliff Kingsbury was showing the door and was just not good. Frankly, was not very good. 17. So Kirk, getting into his stats, 4,820 yards passing, 7.1 yards per attempt, 31 touchdowns, 14 picks, whatever. It's interesting that they don't show quarterback rating on here. But this is what they wrote. The Vikings expect to have Cousins back in purple come September. It's almost unavoidable, nearly blah, 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 blah. Besides, he's typically a tick above the bundle of mezzanine-level passers set to become free agents. Good Kirk burned bright off his white-hot connection with Offensive Player of the Year Justin Jefferson. Oh, so Jefferson made Cousins, even though Jefferson obviously is throwing the ball to himself. Okay. Back Kirk reared his ugly head when Jefferson was smothered or when Cousins just decided to go on one of his many in-game anti-adventures. I love the hiring of Brian Flores to fix the NFL's worst defense, but it was absurd to expect the Vikings to win 1 million more one-score games come September. Oh, really? It's just absurd that the Vikings are going to run that hot in one-score games with an improved defense. And everyone points to the whole Giants game fiasco. It was he checked it down 3 yards on 4th and 8. Not even taking into account is a piss-poor play call and play design by Kevin O'Connell. The interior offensive line let Dexter Lawrence get immediate pressure. And would you prefer Cousins take a sack in that spot or just chuck it up to Jefferson in triple coverage? Sure, but he was giving Hockenson a chance to make a play. And guess what? If Hockenson breaks that one tackle, he probably runs for 10, 12 yards. It's whatever. But you cannot tell me for a second that Cousins in the wild card game against the Giants completed over 75% of his passes, 273, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks, 85 QBR, which is the highest of all the quarterbacks in the wild card round. Also, he ran for a touchdown on a sneak. You cannot tell me for a second that he played bad. You can't. You simply cannot. But yeah, you want to know the reason why the Vikings lost this game? Because Ed Donatell's defense allowed Daniel Jones to score 31 points and 431 yards of offense. That might have had something to do with it. It's just so stupid. Like, I guess we've grown accustomed to the media just completely always having it out for Kirk Cousins, but it's really unwarranted this season. Like I said, Kirk Cousins played the best ball of his career this season, and him and Kevin O'Connell are going to grow and show in 2023. This is the first time in his entire Vikings career that Kirk Cousins isn't learning a new offense with a new OC in 2023 or new primary play caller. You still got Jefferson. They're going to fix your offensive line. The defense is going to be better. And, hey, we're going to have more of this. I'm sorry. For all the haters and the losers who just want to pile drive on Kirk Cousins, it's fine. It's fine. Bring it. Bring it, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. NFL.com writer Marc Sessler, the Sizzler, ranks Kirk Cousins as the 17th best quarterback in 2022. Yikes. Let us know your thoughts or our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.